Good morning everyone, I'm Datu Angkay II, and for today's video, I'm going to discuss with you the rules of softball from rule number 1 to rule number 4. The rule number 1 is all about definition. Let's start. A bat is altered when we change the physical structure of a legal bat. For example nito is yung replacing the handle of metal bat with a wooden bat handle. Or example is yung inserting a materials inside the bat, and another example is applying excessive tape more than 2 layers. Another is applying painting to the bat at the top or bottom for other than identification purposes. But replacing the grip with another legal grip is not considered altering the bat. A flare or cone grip attached to the bat is considered an altered bat. Section 2, Appeal Play. A live or dead ball appeal is play or situation in which an umpire cannot make decision. So hindi siya makakagawa ng decision unless requested by a manager or coach or player of the non-offending team. Note: a coach or manager may only make a dead ball appeal after stepping on the playing field. Section 3, Ball Compression. Sa ball compression, ang tawag dito is load force. In kilogram or pounds, kailangan siya mag-required siya ng compress softball that has a 6.5 mm or meron siyang 0.25 inches when measured in accordance with the ASTM. Anong ASTM? It is called as American Society for Testing and Materials. Test method for measuring compression, displacement of softballs. Section 4, the ball core. The coefficient of restitution of softball when measured with the ASTM or American Society for Testing and Materials test method for measuring the coefficient of restitution of softballs. Section 5, baseline. A baseline is direct line between base. Section 6, base on balls. FP and SP, a base on balls occurs when 4 pitches are judged by the plate umpire to balls including illegal pitches. The batter is awarded first base. This is sometimes referred to as a walk. FP, the ball is alive. SP, the ball is dead. Section 7, base path. A base path is a direct line between base and the runner's position at the time a defensive player is attempting or about to attempt to tag a runner. Section 8, bat ball. A batted ball is any ball that hits the bat or is hit by the ball and lands either in fair or foul territory. No intention to hit the ball is necessary. Section 9, batter. A batter is an offensive player who enters the batter's box with the intention of aiding his team to score runs. He continues to be a batter until he is either declared out by the umpire or becomes a batter runner. Section 10, batter's box. A batter's box is the area to which the batter is restricted while in position with the intention of helping his team to obtain runs. The line are considered as being within the batter's box. Section 11, battered runner. A battered runner is a player who has finished a turn at bat but has not yet been put out or touched first base. Section 12, batting order. The batting order is the official listing of offensive players in the order in which members of the team must come to bat. When the lineup card is submitted, it shall also include each player's position. Section 13, black ball. A black ball is a batted, thrown as pitcher's ball that A, becomes lodged in the fencing, or is touched, stopped, or handled by a person not engaged in the game, or touches any object that is not part of the official equipment or playing area, or is touched by defensive players who is the contact with the ground that is not part of the playing area. A thrown ball touching a base coach accidentally in or out of the coach's box is not block ball.
Section 14. Bunt. FP only. A bunt is batted ball not swung at, but intentionally met with the bat and tapped slowly within the playing field. Section 15. Catch. A catch is legally caught ball, which occurs when the fielder catches a batted or thrown ball with his hands or glove. In establishing a valid catch, the fielder should hold the ball long enough to prove the ball is securely held or the release of the ball is voluntary and intentional. If the player drops the ball after reaching into the glove to remove it or while in the act of throwing, it is a valid catch. Section 16. Catcher's bags. The catcher's bags is the area within which the catcher must remain until A. FP only. The pitch is released. The lines are to be considered within the catcher's bags. B. SP only. The pitch ball is batted, touches the ground, plate, or battered, or reaches the catcher's bags. Section 17. Charge conference. A charge conference takes place when A. Offensive conference. The offensive team requests a suspension of play or delays play to allow the manager or other team representative to confer with any member of their team. B. Defensive conference. The defensive team requests a suspension of play to allow a representative of the defensive team to enter the playing field to communicate with any defensive player or field leaves his position and goes to the dugout and gives the umpire reason to believe that he receives instruction.
Section 18. Chop ball. A chop hit ball is one at which the batter strikes downward with a chopping motion of the bat so that the ball bounces high into the air. Section 19. Coach. A coach is a person who is responsible for the team's action on the field and he represents the team in communications with the umpire and opposing team. A player may be designated as a coach in the event the coach is absent or that players is a playing coach. For the purpose of these rules, the manager of the team is considered to be the head coach. Section 20. Crow hop. FP only. A crow hop is defined as act of pitcher who does not push off from the pitcher's plate to deliver the ball. This is an act illegal if the pitcher steps of the pitcher's plate, thereby establishing a second impetus, and then pushes off from the new starting point and completes the delivery. Section 21. Dead ball. A dead ball is one that A. touches any object that is not part of the official equipment or official playing area or a player or person that engaged in the game. B. Lodges in the umpire's gear or in an offensive player's clothing. C. The umpire has ruled dead. Section 22. Defensive team. The defensive team is a team in the field. Section 23. Delayed dead ball. Delayed dead ball is a game situation in which the ball remains alive until the conclusion of a play. When the entire play is completed, if required, the umpire shall rule a dead ball and enforce the appropriate ruling. Section 24. Designated player. DP, FP only. The designated player is a starting offensive player who bats in the lineup for the flex player listed in the 10th position on the lineup card. Section 25. Dislodge base. Dislodge base is a base displaced from its proper position. Section 26. Double play. A double play is a play by the defense in which two offensive players are legally put out as a result of continuous action. Section 27. Dugout. The dugout is an area in dead ball territory designated for players, coaches, bat boys, or girls and official representatives of the team only. There shall be no smoking in the area. Bawal manigarilyo. Section 28. Ejection from the game. Ejection is the act of any umpire ordering a player, official, or any team members to leave the game and the grounds for a rule violation of the remainder of the game.
Section 29. Fair ball. A fair ball is legally batted ball which A. Settles or is touched on or over fair territory between home and first base or between home and third base. B. Bounce past first or third base on or over fair territory, regardless of where the ball hits after going over the base. C. Touches the first, second, and third base. D. While on or over the fair territory touches the person or clothing of an umpire or player. E. First falls on fair territory beyond first and third base. F. While over fair territory passes out of the playing field beyond the outfield faces. G. While in flight hits the foul line pole.
Section 30. Fair territory. Section 31. Fake tag. Section 32. Fielder. Section 33. Fly ball. Section 34. Flex player. FP only. Section 35. Force out. Section 36. Forfeit. Section 37. Foul ball.
Fair territory is a part of the playing field within and including the first and third base foul lines from home base to the bottom of the extreme playing field fence and perpendicularly upwards. Section 31. Fake tag. A fake tag is a form of obstruction on a runner while advancing or returning to a base by a fielder who is not in possession of the ball that impedes the progress of the runner. The runner does not have to stop or slide. Merely showing down when a fake tag is simulated would constitute obstruction. Section 32. Fielder. A fielder is any defensive player of the team on the field. Section 33. Fly ball. Fly ball is any ball batted into the air. Section 34. Flex player. FP only. The flex player is a starting player for whom the designated player or DP is batting and whose name appears in the 10th position on the lineup card. Section 35. Force out. A force out is an out which can be made only when a runner loses the right to the base which he is occupying because the batter becomes a batter runner and before the batter runner or a succeeding runner has stopped being put out. Section 36. Forfeit. A forfeit is the act of a plate umpire ruling the game is over by declaring the non-offending team the winner. Section 37. Foul ball. A foul ball is legally batted ball which A. Settles on foul territory between home and first base or between home and third base. Bounce past first or third on over foul territory. First touches on foul territory beyond first or third base. Note: a foul fly shall be judged according to the relative position of a ball and the foul line, including the foul pole, and not as to whether the fielder is on fair or foul territory at the time of touching the ball. Section 38. Foul territory. Foul territory is any part of the playing field that is not included in the fair territory. Section 39. Foul tip. A foul tip is a batted ball which A. goes directly from the bat to the catcher's hands, B. goes not higher than the batter's head, and C. is legally caught by the catchers. Section 40. Helmet. A helmet must have two ear flaps and shall be the type that has safety features equal or greater than those provided by the full plastic cap with the padding on the inside. Worn by a catcher by the skull type without the ear flaps. Worn by a defensive player does not need ear flaps. That is cracked, broken, dented, or altered shall be declared an illegal helmet and removed from the game. Section 41. Home team. The home team is a team on whose grounds the game is played, or if the game is played on neutral ground. The home team shall be designated by mutual arrangement or agreement or by the flip or a coin. The home team shall take the third base dugout and play defense first.
Section 46, illegal re-entry. Section 47, illegal substitute. Section 48, illegally batted ball. Section 49, illegally caught ball. Section 50, ineligible player. Section 51, ineligible replacement player. Section 52, in flight. Section 53, in jeopardy. Section 54, infield. Section 55, infielder.
Section 46, illegal re-entry. An illegal re-entry occurs when A. A starting player returns to a game a second time after twice being substituted. B. A starting player returns to the game after being substituted but not in his original position in the offensive lineup. C. A substitute who has legally been in the game returns to the game after being substituted for by either the original starting player or another substitute. D. The starting DP or FP only or his substitute is placed into the batting order in a position other than his original starting position. Section 47, illegal substitute. An illegal substitute is a player who has been entered the game without being announced to the umpire. Section 48, illegally batted ball. An illegally batted ball occurs when the batter hits the ball fair or foul. A. While his enter foot is completely out of the batter's backs. B. While any part of the batter's foot is touching home plate. C. While contacting the ball with an illegal, non-approved or altered bat. D. After he steps with either foot entirely out of the batter's backs. Section 49, illegally caught ball. An illegally caught ball occurs when a fielder catches a batted, thrown or pitched ball with his cap, mask, gloves, or any part of his uniform while it is detached from its proper places. Section 50, ineligible player. An ineligible player is a player who may no longer legally participate in the game because the umpire has removed him. Section 51, ineligible replacement player. An ineligible replacement player is a player who may not enter the game to replace a player who must leave the game to attend to an injury that has caused bleeding. An ineligible replacement player is one who A. has been removed from the game by the umpire for a violation of the rules. B. is in the current lineup. C. is not in the current lineup but eligible to enter the game. Section 52, in flight. In flight describes any batted, thrown, or pitched ball that has not yet touched the ground or some object other than a fielder. Section 53, in jeopardy. In jeopardy is a term indicating that the ball is in play and an offensive player must be put out.
Section 54, infield. Section 55, infielder. Section 56, infield fly. Section 57, inning. Section 58, intentional base on balls. Section 59, intentionally drop fly ball. Section 30, interference. Section 31, leaping, FP only.
Section 54, infield. The infield is that portion of a field in fair territory that includes areas normally covered by infielders. Section 55, the infielder. An infielder is a defensive player, including a pitcher and catcher, who is generally positioned anywhere near or within the lines of the base path informing fair territory.
Section 56, infield fly. An infield fly is a fair fly ball, not including a line drive or an attempted bunt, that can be caught by an infielder with ordinary effort when first and second, or first, second, and third bases are occupied before two are out. The pitcher, catcher, and any outfielder that position himself in the infield on the play shall be considered infielders for the purpose of this rule. Section 57, inning.
An inning is that portion of the game within which the teams alternate on offense and defense, and in which there are these 3 outs of each team. A new inning begins immediately after the final out of the previous inning. Section 58. Intentional base on balls. An intentional base on balls occurs when the defensive team desires to place the batter of the first base without the requirement to deliver 4 pitched balls. This is referred to as an international walk. The ball is dead. Section 59. Intentionally dropped fly ball. An intentionally dropped fly ball is a fair fly ball, including a line drive or a bunt, with less than 2 outs and a runner on first base, which can be caught by an infielder with ordinary effort, and the infielder intentionally drops after it is controlled with a hand or a glove. A drop ball or a fly ball allowed to bounce shall not be considered as having been intentionally dropped. Section 60. Interference. Interference is the act of A. An offensive player or team member that impedes, hinders, or confuses a defensive player attempting to execute a play. B. An umpire who impedes a catcher's attempt to throw out a runner who is off the base. C. An umpire or runner being hit with a fair-butted ball prior to it passing an infielder, excluding the pitcher. Section 61. Leaping. FP only. Leaping is the act of the pitcher that causes him to be airborne on his essential move and push from the pitcher's plate. The momentum built by the forward movement of the pitcher causes the entire body, including both the pivot and stepping foot, to be in the air at the same time and moving towards the home plate. Section 62. Legal touch tag. Section 63. Legally caught ball. Section 64. Line drive. Section 65. Line up and line up card. Section 66. Obstruction. Section 67. Offensive player only. Section 68. Offensive team. Section 69. Official equipment. Section 70. On deck batter. Section 71. On deck circle. The on deck circle is the area where the on deck batter may warm up or takes practice swings while waiting his turn to enter the batter's box. Section 72. 1 meter 3 foot line. The 1 meter or 3 foot line is the area that lasts half distance between home and first base, where a batter runner must run to avoid being called out for interfering with a throw ball from the home plate area, or with a fielder's attempt to take such a throw while running to first base. Section 73 is the option play. An option play is a play in which the offensive coach manager is given the choice of taking the enforcement of the illegal action or the result of the play. Section 72. Outfield. The outfield is a portion of the field that is outside the diamond formed by the baselines or the area not normally covered by an infield and within the foul lines beyond first and third bases. Section 75. Overslide. Section 76. Overthrow. An overthrow is a play in which the ball is thrown from one fielder to another, resulting in the ball A. going beyond the boundary lines of the playing field or becoming block. Section 77. Passed ball. Section 78. Pitch. Section 79. Pitcher's circle. Section 80. Pivot. Section 81. Play ball. Play ball is a term used by the plate umpire to indicate that play shall begin or be resumed when the pitchers hold the ball and A. FP only is within the pitcher's circle. B. SP only is on or near the pitcher's plate. Section 82. Pre-game meeting. Section 83. Protests. A protest is the action of defensive or offensive team objecting to the interpretation or application of the playing rule by an umpire or the eligibility of the team roster member. Section 84. Quick return pitch. Section 85. Re-entry. Section 86. Removal from the game. Section 87. Replacement player. Section 88. The runner. A runner is a player of the team that bat who has finished a turn at bat, reached first base, and has not yet been put out. Section 89, slap hit. Section 90, squeeze play. A squeeze play is a play in which the offensive team with a runner on third base attempts to score the runner by means of the batter contacting the ball. Section 91, starting players. A starting player are the player listed in the official lineup given to the umpire-in-chief and or the plate umpire. Section 92, stealing. Stealing is the act of the runner attempting to advance during or after a pitch to the batter. Stealing is not allowed in the slow pitch. Section 93, strike zone. Section number 94, substitute. Section number 95, tagging up. Section 96, team member. A team member includes any person authorized to sit on the team bench. Section 97, temporary runner. Section 98, throw. Section number 99, time. Section 10, trap ball. A trap ball is a legally batted fly ball or line drive that hits the ground or a fence prior to being caught, or legally batted fly ball that is caught against a fence with a gloves or a bare hand.
Rule 2. The playing field. That is composed of section number 1, the playing field. Section number 2, ground or special rules. Section number 3, the official diamond shall have baselines and pitching distances as set out in the distance table. Section number 4, diamond layout.
Section number 1, the playing field. It is the area within which the ball may be legally played and fielded. Note, a ball is considered outside the playing field when it touches the ground, person on the ground, or other objects outside the playing area. Note, there is no requirement for facilities to cut a warning track in the permanent outfield. Section number 2, ground or special rules. Ground or special rules establishing the limits of the playing field may be agreed upon the leagues or opposing teams whenever backstops, fences, stands, vehicles, spectators, or other obstructions are within the prescribed area. Section 3, the official diamond shall have baselines and pitching distances as set out in the distance table. Note, if during the game, the base distance or the pitching distance is found to be at the wrong distance, correct the error at the start of the next full inning and continue playing the game. Section 4, diamond layout. For the layout of the diamond, refer to drawing showing official diamonds of the softball diamond in Appendix 1A. A detailed instruction to lay out diamond with 18.21 meter or 60 feet, base lines, and a 14.02 46 feet pitching distance can be found in Appendix 3. Diamonds for following are contained in Appendix 2.
Rule number 3 is the equipments, composed of section number 1, the official bat. Section number 2, warm-up bats. Section number 3, the official softball. Section number 4, gloves or mitts. Section 5, shoes. Section 6, protective equipment. Section number 7, equipments on the playing field. Section number 8, uniform. Section number 9, all equipments.
Section number 1, official bat shall be one-piece construction, multi-piece permanently assembled, or two-piece interchangeable construction. If the bat is designed with interchangeable components, it must meet the following criteria. Matting components must have the unique looking. All component combination must meet the same standards as it is one-piece bat when combined or portion of one-piece bat is separated. Note, tape applied to any bat must be continuously spiral. It does not have to be solid layer of tape. It shall not exceed 2 layers. A bat that is not free of rattles shall be considered an illegal bat. A bat that shows signs of tampering shall be considered an altered bat. A flare or cone grip attached to the bat will result in the bat being considered unaltered. Section number 2, warm-up bats. The warm-up bats must be one-piece construction and it shall comply with the safety grip and safety knob requirements of the official bat. It must mark warm-up in 3.2 cm or 1/4 in letters on the barrel end. The barrel end must be in exist of 5.7 meters or 2 1/4 in. Section 3 is the official softball. Shall be a regular, smooth, seamed, and concealed stitches or flat surface ball. Section 4, gloves and mitts. Any player may wear a glove, but only catcher and first baseman may use mitts. Section 5, the shoes. All team members must wear a shoes. A shoe shall be considered official if it is made with either canvas or leather uppers or similar materials and is fully enclosed. Section 6, protective equipments. Mask, FP only. All catchers must wear mask, throat protector, and helmet. Mask, SP only. Youth catchers must wear a mask with helmet. Face mask. Any defensive or offensive player can wear an approved plastic face mask or guard. Note: fast-pitched catchers cannot wear the plastic face mask or guard in place of the regular mask with throat protector. Body protectors, shin guards, helmets. Section 7, equipment of playing field. Equipment that is not part of the official equipment shall not be left lying on the playing field in either fair or foul territory. The ball is dead if the contacts equipment that is not part of the official equipment. For offensive equipment causing a block ball, the player being played on is out. Section 8, uniform. All players on a team shall wear uniforms like in color, trim, and style. Reference to coach's uniform is found under Rule Number 4, Section 1B. Exemption. Players and coaches may, for religious reasons, be permitted to wear specific head uniform or head covering and apparel that does not conform to standard uniform requirements without penalty. Exception. Should a defensive player elect or wear an approved helmet of similar color of the team uniform cap, he will not be required to wear a cap. B. Undershirts. C. Pants, sliding pants. D. Numbers. E. Names. F. Casts. Section 9, all equipments. Notwithstanding the foregoing, the ISF reserves the right to withhold or withdraw approval of any equipment which is in the ISF's sole determination, significantly changes the character of the game, affects the safety of participants or spectators, or renders a player's performance more a product of his equipment rather than his individual skills.
Rule 4, coaches, players, and substitutes. Section 1, coaches. Section 2, lineup cards and posters. Section 3, players. Section 4, starting players. Section 5, designated players. Section 6, extra player. Section 7, re-entry. Section 8, substitutes or illegal player. Section number 9. Section number 9 is disputed call or disputed calls. Section 10, dugout conduct, and Section 11, replacement players. Section 12, temporary runner.
Section 1, coaches. The head coach is responsible for assigning the lineup card. Coaches must be neatly attired, including the wearing of suitable footwear, or dressed in team uniform in accordance with the color code of the team. If a coach wears a cap, it must be approved headgear. Caps are mandatory for male coaches. An offensive team coach, base coach, is an eligible member of the team that at bat who takes his place on the field within the coach's box. A base coach may dress only his own team members. One coach can have in his possession in the coach box a scorebook, pen or pencil, and an indicator, all of which shall be used for score-keeping or record-keeping purposes only. A defensive team coach, manager, is an eligible member of the team in the field, who may be either a non-playing coach who remains in the dugout or a playing coach who takes his place on the field. Coach may not use language that will reflect negatively upon players, umpires, or spectators. Section 2, Lineup Cards and Rosters. Official lineup cards are to be completed and submitted to the official scorer and the plate umpire at the start of each game. The plate umpire retains the card for the duration of the game. 1. A player's name shall not be on the starting lineup unless the player is present in the team area and in uniform. All available players should be listed in the designated place by their last name. Eligible roster member may be added to the available substitute list at any time during the game. The name of the head coach, manager, must be listed on the lineup card. Section 3, Players. A team shall consist of players in the following position. Fast pitch, 9 players. Pitcher, F1. Catcher, F2. First baseman, F3. Second baseman, F4. Third baseman, F5. Shortstop, F6. Left fielder, F7. Center fielder, F8. And the right fielder, F9. Fast pitch with a designated player or DP, 10 players. Same as fast pitch plus a DP. Slow pitch, 10 players. Pitcher, F1. Catcher, F2. First baseman, F3. Second baseman, F4. Third baseman or F5. Shortstop, F6. Left fielder, F7. Left centered fielder, F8. Right fielder, F9. And right central fielder, F10. Slow pitch with an extra player EP, 11 players. Same as slow pitch plus an EP who bats in the lineup. Co-ed slow pitch, 10 players, 5 male and 5 female with the following positioning requirements: 2 male and 2 female in both in the field and in the outfield, and 1 male and 1 female as pitchers or catcher. Co-ed slow pitch with extra players or EP, 12 players, 6 male and 6 female, same as co-ed slow pitch plus 2 EPs who bat in the lineup. Section 4, Starting Players. A starting player shall be official when the lineup card is inspected and approved by the plate umpire and team representative at the pre-game meeting. The name may be entered on the official lineup card in advance of this meeting. However, in case of injury or illness, changes may be made at the pre-game meeting with the umpires. A listed substitute may take the place of starting player whose name in his team's starting lineup. He would then be considered the starting player. The starting player so changed at the meeting could enter the game as substitute at any time later in the game. Section 5, Designated Player. A designated player referred to a DP may be used as a batter for any defensive player, provided it is made known prior to the start of the game and his name is entered on the lineup sheet as one of the 9 hitters in the batting order. The starting DP may be substituted and be re-enter on time as long as he returns to the position in the batting order that he occupied when he left the game. Note: when the flex player's offense for the designated player is now considered to have left the game and may re-enter once in his place in the batting order. This change must be reported to the plate umpire. Section 6, Extra Player. An extra player referred to as EP is optional, but if one is used, it must be made known prior to the start of the game and the player's name listed on the lineup card as one of the 11 hitters in the batting order. If the EP is used, he must be used the entire game. Note: failure to complete the game with the EP results in forfeitures of the game. When the team violates any of the above provisions or uses an illegal EP, the player in violation shall be ejected. Section 7, Re-entry. Any of the starting players may be substituted and re-enter once, provided such players occupy the same batting position whenever they are in lineup. Exemption: if the starting player is brought into the lineup as a replacement player. Note, the original player and the substitutes cannot be in the lineup at the same time. Note, any action that occurs while the illegal re-entry players is in the game is governed by Rule Number 4, Section 8, G4 Effects 2.4. The game of the new manager or coach who is assumed responsibility for the team must be provided to the umpire. Section 8. Substitutes. Illegal player. A substitute may take place of a player whose name is in the team's lineup. The following regulations govern player substitution. A. The coach or team representatives of the team making the substitution shall immediately notify the plate umpire at the time the substitute enters. The plate umpire shall report the change to the scorer. A substitute is not officially in the game until pitch has been thrown or a play made. B. If a substitute enters the game without reporting and after a pitch has been thrown or after a play has been made, the player will be declared ineligible when discovered. Exemption. If an unreported substitution of offense bats and reaches base and then is discovered and appealed before a pitch to the next batter, or if at the end of the game and before the umpires leave the field, all runners will return to the base occupied at the time of the pitch, and the unreported substitute is declared ineligible and called out. All outs that occur on this play will stand. Note, the use of an illegal substitute, an announced replacement player, or the unannounced return of a withdrawn player under the replacement player rule is an appeal by the must be brought to the attention of the umpire by the offended team, while the illegal substitute or player in violation of the replacement player rules in the game. The illegal players includes illegal pitcher, illegal batter, illegal runner, illegal re-entry, underreported substitute, an illegal re-entry occurs. Offense. Exemption 1E. When a flex player is in the game illegally as a runner, this is an illegal re-entry and those penalties apply. Section 9. Disputed calls. Any team member disputing any judgment decision by an umpire will constitute a team warning. Any repeat offense shall result in the ejection of the team member. Section 10. Dugout conduct. Coaches, players, substitute, or other bench personnel shall not be outside the designated dugout area, except when the rules allow or when considered justified by the umpire. Note, this includes players other than the on-deck batter, who must remain in the on-deck circle at the start of the game, between innings, or when a pitcher is warming up. There shall be no smoking in the designated dugout area. Section 11. Replacement player. In the event of any player bleeding during the game, that player must be withdrawn from the game if the bleeding cannot be stopped within a reasonable length of time, or his uniform becomes covered with blood. The withdrawn player should not return to the game until the bleeding ceases, the injury clean and covered, and if necessary, his uniform replaced. Note, if a change of number is required due to the new uniform shirt, there is no penalty, but the umpire should be notified of the new number. Section 12. Temporary runner. A temporary runner is legal for a catcher for a record from the previous half inning who is on base with 2 out. The following provisions apply. It is optional for the offensive team manager. The temporary runner may be used anytime after the second out scored. The temporary runner is a player scheduled to bat last and who is not based at the time the option is taken. Note, if an incorrect player is used as a temporary runner, the error should be corrected when noticed without penalty. Section 13. Violations and penalties. A. Team members shall not make disparaging or insulting remarks to or about opposing players, officials, or spectators, or commit other acts that could be considered unsportsmanlike conduct. B. The penalty for violations by a team member shall be: first, for a first offense, the offender may be warned. For a second offense, or if a first offense is considered serious enough by the umpire, the offender is ejected.
Thank you for watching this video. Stay safe and God bless.